All right, so welcome everybody. Today we are going to go check out the folks at the border security in Australia. It's going to be a fun video.
Officer Amy and her detector dog Gordo are on duty, and Gordo has already shown interest in a family returning from Cambodia and indicated that this elderly woman may be concealing something illicit.
My detector dog, he showed interest to her body and nosed into her stomach area and the bag that was sitting on her stomach.
And so who pays for your grandma when you go overseas? The family, how does that, is she on a pension or pension and that covers it? Yeah.
Anyone entering Australia can be subject to screening, no matter who they are or what their circumstances, even the elderly, as criminal syndicates have been known to prey on the most vulnerable in the community, using them to act as couriers.
And so how often do you guys go back and forth?
Yeah, yearly.
Yearly, yeah.
Officer Lily now focuses her search on the handbag that the elderly woman was carrying when the detector dog reacted to her.
And how long's your grandma been living here?
26 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A swab has been taken from the handbag, which will indicate any traces of illegal substances.
Uh-oh.
Fairly strong rating as well.
Today in Sydney, Biosecurity Officer Greg has spotted several items of possible concern in the luggage of this family arriving from the Middle East.
They haven't declared anything on their passenger cards. So what we're seeing on the X-ray, in particular, is these images here. We've also got other food in another suitcase. It could be nuts or sweets. So we're going to get an officer to have a look.
So with question 6 and 7,
Yeah.
any grains, nuts, number 7?
No.
Anything made out of plants? Any food in the bags?
No.
Okay, we're going to open the bags and we'll have a look.
I never have to.
Officer Susan soon discovers
never do.
packets of Middle Eastern
Oh, I didn't
sweets,
know that was
and they
food.
contain ingredients listed on the declaration card.
You see, sir, how there's nuts? There's nuts in the sweet. You see nuts again, there's nuts. Nuts again.
And the traditional treats keep on coming.
See how there's dried flowers on top? This must be declared. It's part of a plant, it's a flower.
The family seem genuinely unaware that these simple items may be a problem, which is why they should have declared their food items so that biosecurity officers can make an informed decision.
When you came here, you could have said to us, I have food. I don't know what to fill out, but I have some type of nuts.
Now I have food.
Now it's too late.
Why?
Because, no, it's too late. This is your responsibility
Going on.
because this is a legal document. You signed something that you don't know. There's 4 chances on 4 cards. Nothing. No, 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 everywhere.
Yeah. I did know. I did know.
Australian Border Force has taken aside a woman who's returning to Sydney after a short trip home to Thailand.
So interview commenced at 10:01 hours.
She's requested the help of an interpreter, despite having lived in Australia on a student visa for an extended period of time for the sole purpose of studying English.
Our records show that you completed your English course last year and then you were due to start a diploma of business. So what's the reason that you returned to Thailand instead of commencing your studies?
ได้ติดต่อมาที่กลับไทยไปเพื่อที่จะไปดูแล
father-in-law, he is really sick. I went to Thailand to look after him.
What's your intention of coming into Australia today?
เข้ามาเพื่อที่จะ
I intend to come to fix up my issue about my study.
The woman explains that her language skills are still not good enough to begin her business studies and instead needs to enrol in another English course.
So do you have a confirmation of enrolment or a letter of offer from any education provider?
จดหมายไม่มีค่ะแต่ทางเอเจนต์เขาโทรไปหา
I don't have a confirmation letter.
To maintain a student visa, you need to be enrolled in a course. So if you don't have a letter of offer, it appears that you may be in breach of your visa conditions today.
Further checks of the woman's academic record are made, and what is discovered casts serious doubts on her commitment to being a legitimate student.
Actually, she's had 2 English courses cancelled by the looks of it previously, and obviously this will be her 3rd attempt.
Even more concerning is her lack of documentation confirming her current enrolment in any course, which is a strict requirement of her student visa.
So I don't know whether the agent is able to organise a letter of offer, but that's what it basically hinges on at this point.
In Adelaide, detector dog Gordo has reacted to this elderly woman who is returning from Cambodia with her 2 grandsons.
My detector dog nosed into her stomach area and the bag that was sitting on her stomach.
A swab test of that handbag has returned a positive result for ephedrine, a substance used in the manufacturing of methamphetamine.
Do you know why it may have come up with that reading at all?
No.
No, you don't use anything
No,
like
no,
that?
no.
And this bag, has this been in her possession the whole time?
Yeah.
Is this like a daily handbag that she uses?
Yeah, she takes it to the shop.
Through her grandsons, the woman is asked if she is concealing anything around her waist.
She showed me that she's got nothing here. Does she have anything else in any pockets at all?
Yeah, when I can power it. You said no.
Because what we may have to do to alleviate any concerns that we have is do a frisk search today on your grandmother.
With the help of her grandson, officers make sure the passenger is willing and able to stand for the frisk search.
But what I really need you to do is to read this card, to understand the card so that you can translate it to her, and she needs to understand it as well.
The woman agrees to the frisk search, which is conducted by a female officer. Officer Tara feels an inconsistency around the woman's waist and signals to a fellow officer that she may have found a sizable concealment.
The customs officer has felt something under her bra and in her underwear.
Okay.
With a positive drug swab and now a possible concealment, officers suspect the elderly woman may be trying to smuggle something across the border, and their investigation needs to be stepped up.
We'll need to upgrade this now.
Ma'am,
There's 4 chances on 4 cards. Nothing. No, 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 everywhere.
In Sydney, a family arriving from the Middle East has failed to declare any foodstuffs.
Yeah, so this is a food. You put it in your mouth. Yeah? If you're not sure, look. If unsure, say yes. There's a lot here. You need to declare it.
Anyway, I'm not upset. Thanks for you for next time. I know for next time.
It seems the passenger is starting to get the message, but it may be a little too late, as this item is of particular concern.
This one isn't allowed. It's not ground like this. And it's got the stems, you see? That can have all sorts of virus and bacteria in it. This needs to be destroyed.
Officer Greg returns to examine the item.
So it's a tea, is it?
Yeah.
Do you buy this in the markets?
From the garden.
So you've taken this out of the garden?
Yeah.
You can't keep it.
The unidentified plant could harbour foreign pests and diseases, and the family may be facing a hefty penalty.
What I can do?
The point is the passengers haven't declared anything, and it's large quantities. And we just established whether or not there is going to be a penalty imposed or not. And that's what we're working at the moment. What would you classify this as?
I'm saying oregano.
I would think it's herbs.
There does seem to be a slight language barrier, so Officer Susan tries to clarify the situation in Arabic.
What are you explaining to him now?
He's saying, oh, if you give me a chance for next time, then I would know.
With further explanation, the visitor has learned a valuable lesson about the importance of declaring all items correctly.
The officer conversed with the passenger in Arabic, and as a result of that conversation, we decided to give them a written warning, and that written warning is about education, and they were advised, both English and Arabic, that if they do that again, there could be heavy fines for failing to declare.
عم تفهم علي؟ Okay.
A Thai woman who's been living in Australia on a student visa for several years says she's returning from a short trip to Thailand and now she's back to continue her studies.
Actually, she's had 2 English courses cancelled by the looks of it previously, and obviously this will be her 3rd attempt.
What we're trying to establish here is whether there's an ulterior motive
To being on shore.
to being on shore for employment purposes rather than education purposes.
Correct.
Officer Alicia continues the investigation.
So do you have sufficient funds today to enrol in a course?
อันนี้พี่ของสามีเขาอ่ะ
My husband brother, he is going to pay for me because I went to look after his father.
And does your husband work in Australia?
เขาทำนิดหน่อยค่ะ
He works 2 days a week in a restaurant.
Could you please just give me the contact details of your brother-in-law and your husband as well?
อ๋อได้ค่ะ
Yes, I can.
First, Officer Alicia will try to make contact with the woman's husband to verify her story. The woman's future in Australia may now rest on officers being able to contact him.
Call can't be connected.
And Officer Ross has just made a sudden discovery. Her husband is named as a dependent on her visa, so contacting him is now becoming a matter of urgency if they both wish to remain in the country.
We need to speak to him because if we cancel her visa, his visa's cancelled also.
Correct.
After a reaction from a detector dog and a positive result for a drug precursor, Australian Border Force officers have felt a possible concealment on the body of this elderly woman.
The other officer has felt something under her bra and in her underwear.
Inside her underwear.
And here and here. Well, she hasn't got an injury where she's got a bandage or anything.
Yeah, I mean, but I never have not lying in the car. Her undies.
Her undies, and that's all. She hasn't got anything.
I mean, I did that. She said there's nothing else there.
But officers strongly suspect that there is something deliberately hidden under her clothing, and the woman's situation is becoming extremely serious.
So they're going to take her into a room and search her to see how much she conceals there.
It's now 11 o'clock. Yep. She's formally detained now for it's called a category B2 search. We're going to search her body, okay? Just let her know that she'll be coming with us and we'll search her in that room, okay? So just let her know.
Yeah, แล้วถ้าគេយកឯងទៅអាបន្ទប់នោះហើយគេដោះអាវចេញមើល
Okay.
Explain to her that if she has anything there, just go in there and show what she's got.
Yeah.
So to make everything easier.
That's what's going to happen. We won't need to take her clothes right down and if she can present what she's got. Okay.
The passenger is led to a private room where female officers will conduct the external search. This Thai woman is attempting to re-enter Australia on a student visa, but officers suspect that her real reason for continuing to live here has nothing to do with her studies.
There's no evidence that this girl would engage in education purposes in a genuine manner.
Her husband's right to reside in Australia is dependent on her visa. But this may be short-lived if he cannot be contacted soon to verify that she is a legitimate student.
I'm unable to contact the husband still. I keep getting a no answer on his mobile.
A lot is riding on the phone call, as he may also be removed from the country if her visa is cancelled.
Call can't be connected. I've called this at least 8 times now.
However, Officer Alicia has been able to contact the woman's brother-in-law to confirm that he intends to pay for her upcoming enrolment. But it turns out he's already given her the money.
He said that he gave her $700 to pay for the course herself, which is contradictory to what she has actually said, because she said that he was going to organise payment with the migration agent.
Officers are now confident that the woman hasn't been entirely truthful, and with the lack of evidence that she's enrolled to undertake any further study, it's more than likely that she will breach the conditions of her student visa.
So based upon all of the information available to me and your interview, a decision has been made to cancel your visa today. And so has your dependent, so your husband's visa has now been cancelled. I'm unable to get in contact with your husband, but I strongly suggest that you contact him to let him know of his immigration status, because he's currently unlawful in the community.
We have gone to extreme lengths to make contact with her husband, but we can't find the man. So we will now attempt to seek other methods of contact to inform him that his visa has been cancelled as a consequence to her visa cancellation.
At the Sydney Mail Centre, Australian Border Force officer Carly has noticed a very subtle sign that there could be a problem with the contents of this box from Brazil.
Can you come and have a look at this? I think that looks a bit weird.
Yeah, what's it declared as?
Designer chest set. It's just a bit uneven, like in the density of it.
Yeah, so you think it'll be all even the whole way through, but it looks a bit powderish.
The package is first opened by Australia Post and then taken to the tool room for inspection.
Man, it's heavy.
Without the packaging material to interfere with the X-ray, this scan should give a much better image to show how the board is constructed.
Look at this border around here. See, there's a gap between the frame and the inside.
Do you think maybe like it's been hollowed out?
Yeah, well, the board looks pretty solid, but you wouldn't have that gap there. It's like it's air or something. I reckon there's something in there.
The officers have no choice but to drill a hole through the chessboard and see if there is anything sinister lurking inside.
She's formally detained now for it's called a Category B2 search. We're going to search her body, okay? Just let her know that she'll be coming with us.
In Adelaide, an elderly woman is being taken to a private room for an external search, as officers have serious concerns that she is attempting to smuggle something across the border.
The customs officer has felt something under her bra and in her underwear.
Inside the room, the search is now complete, and it's confirmed that she does have a concealment. But despite the swab of her handbag testing positive for ephedrine, it's not narcotics that officers find.
Cash breach, yes. More than $10,000 in currency.
The woman had stuffed wads of $100 notes in her underwear. It amounts to more than $10,000, which should have been declared, and this is now a matter for the Australian Federal Police.
So if you can just let her know that the supervisor is contacting the police and they're going to come in here and talk to her.
If it's determined the money is the proceeds of crime or money laundering, it will be confiscated and the woman could face heavy fines or even imprisonment.
Hey, come around. Yeah,
it's been a good find for Detective Dog Gorda.
Good boy.
At the Sydney Mail Centre, what appears to be a solid timber chessboard from Brazil shows signs that it has a concealment hidden inside.
There it goes.
Through, is it?
It is very solid. Ah, there it goes.
Feel hollow, can you?
Yeah, it's like it hit some sort of a cavity in
You
there.
can see the white powder on the drill bit there.
Yeah.
The powder will first be tested using the hazmat machine to identify the possible narcotic. And coming out of South America, it is expected to be cocaine.
Wow, Dave, look at that. Methylene dioxymethamphetamine, MDMA.
Jeez, MDMA, yeah.
Yeah. You don't usually see it in white powdered form like
It's
that.
usually a brownie colour.
Yeah.
Usually more crystal.
As it is surprising to find this type of drug coming from Brazil, just to be sure, officers decide to confirm the result with specific MDMA test kits.
If it is in fact MDMA, this one should go black. There we go. That's exactly what we expected. And for this test to go a really bright blue colour. There we go. Which is, again is confirmed that it's MDMA or ecstasy, which is a really good seizure for us. We're expecting that it's about approximately 5 kilos of powdered MDMA. So we'll hand it over to the AFP and they'll investigate it further.
$7 million. Wow.
At Sydney Airport, the early morning rush has just begun, and Australian Border Force officers are already questioning this Argentinian man as to why he is returning after taking an unusually quick trip to South America.
You left 5 days ago. Yep. What reason did you leave 5 days ago?
It was cheaper for me to go now for Sundays, then come back, and then go directly to the United States.
Who's paying for all these trips? You? Or your father or relative?
My father and me.
Father and you?
Yeah.
Okay.
The young man is travelling with a snowboard, but this seems a little unusual as it's currently not the snow season here or in South America. Plus, he claims the board is not even his. A swab test will help determine if it requires any further investigating.
It's given a positive reading for cocaine, so we'll continue going through the bag and see what else we can find.
While the swab test was being conducted, the young man admitted that he regularly uses marijuana. But that doesn't explain the cocaine readings.
So, I'm going to ask you again. I know you've admitted to using marijuana to me, but have you used cocaine before?
No.
So why do you think I'm getting readings off this equipment?
If this is rendered out because maybe the owner did it, not me.
The owner, okay. So we're gonna go through all of your gear here now, just to make sure that you don't have any cocaine on you today, okay?
The board will need to be X-rayed to see if there could be anything concealed inside. But this could be the least of his worries, as officers have just located a plastic bag containing very large bundles of cash. Biosecurity detector dogs patrol all of Australia's international airports, helping to reduce the risk of serious pests and diseases from entering the country. And today in Brisbane, a detector dog has reacted to the luggage of this man, arriving off a flight from Hong Kong.
I holiday visit my son.
Okay. And you're going to go fishing while you're here?
I'm with my son just for fishing.
The keen fisherman has packed various pieces of equipment that Biosecurity Officer Andrew needs to inspect closely.
What's in this container?
Fish on.
Do you have any other fishing tackle? Just the rod?
Yeah.
They're all clean, so they're fine. Because you use bait when you fish, it may have come in contact with animals, so we just need to make sure that it is clean and then it is okay.
Very interesting.
The hooks and rod get the all clear, and the man has confirmed that he has nothing to declare. But the search will continue for what may have caused the dog to react.
Are you planning on doing any lure fishing while you're here?
Just for fish.
Just live bait fishing? Any fly fishing with synthetic bait? No. I'm just going to have a look at these.
Then, at the bottom of the man's backpack, Officer Andrew finds a suspicious package. And what is discovered inside poses one of the highest possible biosecurity risks.
So these are alive.
At Sydney Airport, a Chinese passenger has just arrived off a flight from Beijing. Mr. Wang is travelling on a short-stay business visa, which holds specific conditions.
So business travellers that are coming in on this type of visa are usually here for conventions, meetings, short stays. They're not allowed to work while they're in Australia. It's solely for the purpose of conducting business.
The visa is also intended for short-term visits only. And what is concerning officers is that records indicate that Mr. Wang recently came to Australia on the same visa and ended up staying for over 3 months.
So Mr. Wang, we're going to commence the interview process now, okay? So explain to me what you were doing for the 3 months that you were in Australia.
我们是几个朋友合伙开卖陶瓷的。
Okay, me and my friends, we are in a partnership to sell ceramic products.
Mr. Wang continues to tell Officer Greg his previous trip was to deliver an order of ceramics to his friend Mr. Lin, who owns a store in Sydney.
Now, Mr. Wang, what is the name of the company that you work for?
我的公司是一个，其实的。
I don't really remember the name of the company.
You need to be able to tell me what the name of your company is in China.
这个忘了，不是以前记得。
I just forgot.
Do you have a business card at all?
没带在身上，没带来。
No, I don't have my business card with me.
Okay, so the reason I'm questioning you is because you're not giving me straight answers. And we'll be here all day if you want to keep going around the bush. So don't lie to me anymore, okay, and give me the straight answers, okay? So let's start with what the name of your company is.
So you just went to Argentina?
Only in Argentina.
Okay, so how long was your trip? 5 days?
5 days, I travel 24
So
hours.
1 day travelling there, 1 day travelling back?
Yeah, I stay there Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and Tuesday morning I start coming here.
Officers are becoming increasingly concerned that this Argentinian man may be carrying drugs.
He's on a working holiday visa. He's been in and out of Australia a good number of times, sometimes long, sometimes short, so his last journey was literally less than a week.
And that's not all. The snowboard that he claims to be carrying for a friend has tested positive for traces of cocaine. And now a large bundle of cash has been found in his bag.
Why are you carrying so much cash with you?
Because in Argentina now they don't allow you to take the money out. If you use the credit card, they charge you a 50% more, and when in the, how do you say, the range that you change, for example, 8 pesos, $1, 50% more.
So where did you get all this cash from?
From my parents.
Okay, what does your father do?
Working in Western Union.
Sorry?
Western Union.
He works for Western Union.
Really?
Western Union is a company that specializes in transferring money around the world. So it seems very strange that his father would have given him so much cash.
Yeah, I think it sounds very stupid, but we can read in the internet that they...
I know, but you understand, he works for Western Union. Yeah,
No,
he couldn't transfer money, that's all cash.
It's prohibited in Argentina because there are a lot of economic
problems.
problems.
It's a lot of cash to be carrying.
And there are still concerns with the snowboard, as it has just been x-rayed and it shows a section in the middle that could possibly be a concealment. As the construction of the board is sealed, there is only one way to check if there is a substance hidden inside.
Don't lie to me anymore, okay, and give me the straight answers. Okay, so let's start with what the name of your company is.
In Sydney, Mr. Wang is trying to enter Australia on a short-stay business visa. But he can't seem to back up his story with the simplest of details.
You need to be able to tell me what the name of your company is in China. Okay? You don't know.
Officer Greg has serious doubts that the only reason for his trip to Sydney is to conduct meetings to expand his ceramics business back in Beijing.
He cannot provide you with any business cards, he cannot provide you with any business meetings, he can't provide you with negotiation contracts, he can't produce any paperwork pertaining to that activity.
Nothing.
What officers do believe is that when Mr. Wang was recently here on a similar trip, he worked illegally for a friend named Mr. Lin in his ceramics shop, and he intends to do the same again.
Are you working in the shop for Mr. Lin?
No, I wasn't working for him, I was helping.
I do not believe that after you've unloaded a shipment of goods that you've sold to a company many miles away from where you live, that you would then stay while you're not getting paid to help price it up, and then you've stayed another 6 weeks and you can't tell me anything that you've done for the next 6 weeks. This is not something a business operator does.
What Mr. Wang doesn't realize is that officers have discovered evidence on his mobile phone that suggests he was working in breach of his visa conditions.
Mr. Wang, this message says that you're about to close the shop. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, what shop?
Mr. Lin 先生
Lin's shop.
Yeah, Lin.
Why are you closing Mr. Lin's shop?
我是跟林先
I was with Mr. Lin. We finished our dinner and we were about to close
吃完饭就去
the shop.
I don't believe you.
Unconvinced that he was just helping out, Officer Greg wants to confirm his story with the shop owner.
Do you have a contact details for Mr. Lin then?
有不知道有没有
I'm just not too sure whether he has changed his contact number.
Australian Border Force officers still have concerns that this Argentinian man may be trying to bring narcotics into the country inside a snowboard that he claims belongs to a friend.
When we did the swab of the snowboarding equipment, came up positive cocaine, but he was quick to deny the fact that any of that snowboarding equipment wasn't his. So we found that that was quite concerning, the fact that it's now summer and he's bringing in snowboarding equipment. He made admissions to me that he had used marijuana before. He said that he definitely had not used coke. I asked him if his friend had used coke. He said he doesn't know.
The X-ray has shown an inconsistent section inside that could be a concealment, so there are not many other alternatives but to drill the board. A test of the extracted material will now be conducted. It's a negative result, which is enough to satisfy officers that there is no concealment. But he may be carrying something on his body, so a frisk search will be conducted.
Do you consent to the search?
Yeah. All right. I'm out.
The frisk search is all clear. And his pile of money has also been counted, and there is no issue, as it amounts to less than the 10,000 Australian dollar equivalent that needs to be declared.
Okay, mate, just so you know that we're very happy that you're not carrying any drugs with you today.
Me too.
So you're allowed to depart. Thanks, mate.
Thanks.
See you later.
And this relieved Argentinian has learnt a very valuable lesson about international travel.
So I will never carry luggage for anyone.
However, in Brisbane, this passenger arriving from China has landed himself in considerable trouble, as he's just been caught carrying a packet full of one of the highest biosecurity risks.
So these are alive. What is this?
Fish worm.
So it's a fish worm.
Importing live organisms into Australia without a permit is extremely serious, as it risks introducing unknown diseases that could threaten our unique ecosystem.
So it's a live organism. They're very serious for quarantine.
First time to Australia. I don't know.
I don't know.
You were actually asked a question, do you have any animals, parts of animals, animal products including equipment, birds, fish, insects?
Oh,
So you should have actually declared them as insects.
sorry, sir.
So these are a legal document, so you need to be very careful on what you're signing.
I don't know this is a serious insect.
But his apology may be too late. And failing to declare such a high-risk item means this amateur angler could be facing a large fine or worse.
You can be prosecuted. We do understand that overseas passengers do not know what is serious. That is why we ask you to declare everything on the card to allow us to make that assessment.
The worms are sealed and weighed, and the man waits anxiously as Officer Andrew discusses the appropriate penalty with his duty manager.
150 grams of live worms.
I just fishing. I don't know. Very serious.
Biosecurity management has decided on the appropriate penalty.
Just returning to the card, this is a legal document. They are a live animal. It was one of the highest risk possible to us in quarantine, and I'm going to be issuing you with a $340 fine today.
The surprised passenger reluctantly agrees to pay the fine.
340, very expensive.
The worms will be destroyed, and the man will now need to source some local bait for his Australian fishing trip.
Today highlights the importance of the detector dogs in the airport. Anything that's alive or fresh is certainly a big risk coming in, so it's a really great find for the detector dogs today.
At the Sydney Mail Centre, Australian Border Force officers Dave and Carly are screening the incoming international mail. And it looks like a package containing a strange object may need investigating.
What do you reckon about this one?
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, it says
What country is it from?
Brazil. Looks like a machine part or something, but it's not consistent. If it was a machine part, it'd be all metal, it'd be all blue. But we've got this greeny shade of green, this line here. Yeah, so the line's uneven there. You wouldn't really expect that.
You better have a look at that.
Yeah.
The package is opened by Australia Post and then taken to the tool room for inspection. The contents of the box seems to match the declaration that states it contains a machine part.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it's really heavy. It's some sort of machine part. You can see bits of glue in the hole there.
That is fairly uneven there, hey?
Yeah.
Do you think maybe that could have been welded and then re-welded?
Yeah, could be.
If we re-X-ray it and that has been re-welded, we should be able to see some sort of a join mark there.
Yeah.
Without the packaging to interfere with the X-ray, this scan should give a much better image to show how the cylinder is constructed.
I think there's definitely something in there.
Oh, yeah, you can see it.
Right.
Cracks through the top there and a bit of light stuff there.
What do you think? Drill it?
Probably have to. Being metal, you wouldn't be able to cut it.
The officers have no choice but to drill a hole through the metal and see if there is anything hidden inside.
Hello.
To let you know, we are considering cancelling your visa and not permitting you entry into Australia today.
In Sydney, this is Mr. Wang's last chance to convince Australian Border Force officer Greg that he's only here for a few business meetings and not to work illegally in his friend's ceramics shop.
Okay. Do you wish to make any comments or make a response to the consideration that I'm currently undertaking?
My intention to come to Australia is I just want to see investment and business opportunity to expand my career. And if Australian government doesn't want to allow me in, there's nothing I can do.
Okay. Now, so Mr. Wang, I have weighed up all the information that you made available to me, and I am satisfied that grounds for cancelling your visa outweigh the reasons for not cancelling your visa, okay? And I have therefore decided to cancel your visa today and not allow you entry into Australia.
On top of this, Mr. Wang may now face a 3-year exclusion period from entering Australia. But for now, arrangements will be made to immediately return him to China on the next available flight. At the Sydney Mail Centre, Australian Border Force officers are drilling into a machine part sent from Brazil, which they believe could be loaded with narcotics.
Wipe out of there. I'll try and grab a sample off the drill bit there and test it.
They are so
There is a
creative.
good chance that inside the cylinder is a significant seizure of cocaine, and a nick test will help determine if this is correct. The pink liquid needs to start turning blue.
There we go. There's the blue.
Wow.
It's looking good.
Then it should turn pink, followed by a split of pink and blue.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
There we go.
Pink over blue.
Pretty perfect. And then that's a positive result for cocaine.
The cylinder and its contents will now be handed over to the Australian Federal Police.
Hey, subscribe. Come back. Let's watch the next one. Bye now.